You guys, we have got to talk about Sabrina Carpenter because she released the art for her upcoming album, Man's Best Friend, and people have a lot to say about it. Some people are not happy about it. Some people are saying that it's satire. It is a whole situation. We're going to get into what everyone is saying and also what Sabrina had to say in a recent interview with Rolling Stone, where she opened up about her humor, criticism, and so much more. Okay, so Sabrina announced her new album, Man's Best Friend, this week, and she shared these two images, this one of her on her hands and knees, and then this one that says Man's Best Friend, and it's a pet with a collar. She captioned it, "My new album, Man's Best Friend, is out August 29, 2025. Can't wait for it to be yours. X pre-order now." So quickly following Short and Sweet, some fans were shocked to hear that she was coming out with another album so soon, especially since she will still be on the Short and Sweet tour through November of this year. And she addressed this in her newsletter saying, "My new album, Man's Best Friend, releases August 29th. I didn't plan on releasing a new record. However, when inspiration strikes, I go to the studio, and when it doesn't, I still go to the studio. But luckily, life was really happening to me and inspiration struck. I tried not to overthink the process. This time, I felt so at ease making Man's Best Friend that I felt like it was a gift that shouldn't be taken for granted, as every inch came together so effortlessly. Different from my previous projects where I'd bang my head to crack numerous codes, this one felt like riding a bike. I went back to some of my favorite artists growing up, listening to a lot of Stevie, Dolly, Donna, etc., and was surprised to find so many of those artists I love put out a new record every year for a long time. Can't say that is or will be the norm for me, but this time it really eased my mind about putting something out when it feels right. I am endlessly grateful to you who is reading this for your trust in me, and I can't wait to share these stories with you. Pre-order, pre-save, pull up, all my love, Sabrina." But let's go to the drama because it's been all over my feed since she shared the cover art yesterday. The cover features Sabrina posed in a way that immediately sparked controversy. People were calling it degrading, saying it sets feminism back, while others were clapping back saying it's satire. It's literally commentary, chill. And some were just mad it was giving rage bait. So lots of opinions were flying around about this. Upon posting the announcement, people commented, "I feel like that one friend who's too woke right now, but Sabrina girl, right now in this political environment, Short and Sweet was for the girls. The new album doesn't feel that way. The cover, Man's Best Friend, woof woof." That is disgusting. Not really into the vibe she's leaning into. Man's Best Friend, I don't really see that resonating with today's audience. It's so degrading, it's really off-putting. Everyone's saying, oh, it's a play on how men view women, so that means we should continue to play into it, not the feminist take you think it is, unfortunately. The album cover is giving 1950s women degradation, so disappointing. Others posted TikToks talking about the situation, saying Sabrina's new album cover must be rage bait because how are you gonna write a song about men treating you badly, then your album cover is the man dragging you across the floor by your hair, huh? The caption said, like, "I love her. This is making me sad though." And this video had over 80,000 likes, you guys. Some fans were hoping that the later songs will give more concept to the album and her overall vision of what she's trying to portray here, but people came to her defense trying to say that this was satire, and her songs in Short and Sweet have been about calling men dumb and just calling them out on their behavior altogether, and that this was her still playing into how they view women before completely ripping them to shreds in songs like the one that she's released for this album, Man-Child. And that maybe this is her saying this is how she's been treated and will be continuing to sing about things that she wished were different about men she's been with on the album. And the cover represents just like how she has been treated in the past. That's what some are saying, but people have commented in her defense saying, like, are they forgetting that the lead single is called Man-Child? It's obviously satirical. People completely forgot that satire is criticism, like she's criticizing the exact same thing that they are. I feel like the album cover is showing how men feel about women rather than her actually being a dog to a man. The comments are so disappointing. 26 years of her jokes not landing. Bless her. Satire. Hope this helps angry people. I actually like the visuals. She's sarcastic, so we for real know it's not to be taken seriously. Because she literally does not like men and says that over and over again. It's a play on how men view women and how she's taking the narrative back. Sorry you don't understand it when it's really a simple concept. I really think it's supposed to be satire, and people are completely looking past that. I think the album is supposed to represent the factor that people think she is just for men's entertainment when she's not. And the album is mostly about that, considering Man-Child is about dissing men. And people posted TikToks about this. Someone said, realized I'm a little too freaky for the Sabrina Carpenter album cover discourse. Y'all have fun with this one though. Someone else said, the people criticizing Sabrina Carpenter's new album cover for Man's Best Friend are so obtuse. How can you miss the obvious irony of it and the play on words, which we all know is something she loves to do? None of you have ever used context clues in your life, and it shows. Now, the day after this art was shared online, Sabrina's Rolling Stone cover came out, and a lengthy article titled How Sabrina Carpenter Dream Came True Her Whole Life. In the article, she talks about this upcoming album, her humor, and how women are picked apart. In regards to her humor, it seems she was saying that it was her way of delivering harsh news, which tons have heard her humor come through in her songs, where she is singing about how men have done her wrong and calling them out on it. And Rolling Stone reported, Carpenter is extremely self-aware, particularly when it comes to her sense of humor. She gives deep, eloquent responses to questions about her sarcasm, partly because she's asked about it so often, but also because she knows herself better than she ever has. Since she was a teenager, she viewed humor as her sharpest tool in the shed, a device to say exactly what she means. Anytime I didn't really want to be nice and please people, I could use sarcasm as a tactic of being transparent, and I didn't come across as rude or bitchy or hard to work with, she says. This opens a whole other conversation about how women have to reshape their dialogue and overall intentions in order to make sure they're not coming off a certain way, when in reality, I've started to realize it doesn't make you a bad person to be assertive or know what you want. Jokes Carpenter also realizes help soften the blow and prevent her from hurting people, a strategy that also shows up in her music. When I'm writing, it's so much harder for me to say something that doesn't have a little bit of a wink to it, because that is just the way that I speak, she says. It's the way that I communicate with my friends, my family, and with lovers. There isn't an evil bone in me, so if I'm having a bad day, the jokes make it a little less bitchy. Like all of us, she has bouts of anxiety and stress, a mood she dubs Bitchy Brina. Jack Antonoff also spoke about this upcoming album and Man-Child, which he worked on alongside Sabrina and Amy Allen, and they talk about the concept of this upcoming album, saying Antonoff felt a new era started the minute Man-Child was born, completed right before the new year, along with 2 other tracks they knocked out. When I heard those 3, that was the moment when I was like, oh my god, he says. You could imagine the entire album from that point, because the songs had such an identity. I find a lot of this album to be some of the most honest work I've ever heard, he adds. There's something really celebratory about it, but most of the lyrical content is about disappointment in relationships and all the different shapes it takes. I think it's a celebration of those who let you down. So I don't think that this whole album is about to be some sort of celebration of men, like let's all get on our hands and knees like the album cover is depicting. It really does seem like she's probably going to be talking about being dragged through all these situations by men and not wanting to be in these positions. And she does discuss how she has been leaning in a more sexual tone in this interview, but that it is a result of people liking and wanting that stuff from her. She says, it's always so funny to me when people complain. She says, they're like, all she does is sing about this, but those are the songs that you've made popular. Clearly you love. You're obsessed with it. It's in my shows. There's so many more moments than the Juno positions, but those are the ones you post every night and comment on. I can't control that. If you come to this show, you'll also hear the ballads. You'll hear more introspective numbers. I find irony and humor in all of that because it seems to be a recurring theme. I'm not upset about it, other than I feel mad pressure to be funny sometimes. This is an important topic for Carpenter, and we discuss it again on the phone a few weeks later. I don't want to be pessimistic, but I truly feel like I've never lived in a time where women have been picked apart more and scrutinized in every capacity. I'm not just talking about me, I'm talking about every female artist that is making art right now. And it's really interesting to hear her say that because this was prior to her knowing how people would react to the art that she posted to go along with this album announcement. And I'm sure that her sentiments probably are the same as what she said previously in this interview about the art that she's making and how people are criticizing her online and how people do hone in on the times where she is being a little bit more sexual, even though there are times where she's not. Obviously, when it comes to this album art though, some people are not looking at it as art at all and they are just disappointed and disgusted. But I want to know what you guys think about this whole drama going around right now surrounding the conversation of her album cover. Do you guys think that she took it too far? Are people overreacting? Do you think the cover was meant to just shock? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye guys.